Oh, today is a glorious day, friends, because it is a day of sweet revenge. And not anything to do with Freddie, but we are going to take a trip in the super cheap Super Duty. And I will explain right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man, and we're gonna go get something. I won on the old auction time, and the only reason I bought this was because I missed out on it at an auction that we went to, and I bought it for half price of what the guy ran me up at the auction. So yeah, I had to have this. So we'll go down there and we'll see if we can't make it back home with this relic. So I'll catch you in a little bit. I guess I didn't really think about how to film, but can you see back there what's hooked up? Yeah, you can't really see out of this mirror, but what we have back there is a 520 square baler. In fact, the same 520 square baler that I lost out on that auction this spring. So that's pretty snazzy. We will wait till we get home to do a big look it over type deal, but we can stop here real quick. This is pretty sweet, and it's got good tires on it. I was worried about that, so I think we'll be okay. That ain't attached very good, but with the two chains, why, it might stay. Who knows? We'll just listen for the dragging metal. I think we should be good to go. I've got 3.5 hours before my bus route, so we're gonna have to hope we can get home by then. I think we should, but who knows? Well, now for the long, arduous journey here. It appears, again, like most equipment, this one starts hopping if you get much over 25, so we're gonna have to keep it around there. That's our max speed. The nice thing is, it pretty well fits behind the truck. There's not a lot sticking over. There is some, but it's manageable. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. This, of course, is a no passing section, so there'll be 10,000 cars that get behind me. And there's not really a good place to, well, there's places to pull over, but there's not really a safe place to pull over where I can safely get back on. So I want to make sure that I have good vision. This is probably good. I'll pull over here. I'll be nice and let people pass. It's like the Indy 500, people. Nobody likes to be behind a piece of equipment even for a minute. It's kind of ridiculous. I would like to go home alive as well, you know? But sure. Luckily, around here, and I don't know if it's that way where you live, every few miles is a Dollar General. So if we get into trouble, we know we at least got that. We can just pull over to a Dollar General, get a bag of pretzels, and just, you know, revisit our life choices. So there's always that, friends. There's always that. Speak of the devil, there's one now. That's a brand new one. It just sprouted from a seedling a few months ago. At least it seemed like it. One time I came through, there was nothing, and the next time there was a brand new Dollar General. So yeah. Well, I'll bring you back as soon as something deadly or exciting happens, which could happen at any time. You just never know. But we're gonna see how she goes. The semi is holding way back, so I wonder if something's about to fall off. I don't know. I gotta focus on driving. I'll see you later. Oh boys, traffic is crazy. There must be a wreck or something up ahead from the other way or something, because there's a continuous line of cars in the opposite direction. which must mean there's a wreck on the interstate. That's usually what happens here. And I keep pulling over to let cars go behind me around in places, but finally I need to make some progress here, so I'm gonna probably tick off some people. But I pay taxes too, and I'm gonna use the roads, you know, here and there. So that's just the way it is. There's a pretty good line again, so I guess I'll pull over and let them by. But it really eats up a lot of my time pulling over all the time for just a few. Well, we're finally off the highway and close enough to home that if something bad happens, I can probably leave it in somebody's driveway that I know. But I'm hoping that we make it all the way. Time will tell. We're making good time, really, from what I thought. It's noon, and I probably left there at 11:30 or so. Probably about right. No, that can't be. I left there probably right a little bit after 11. So, and it's 12:02 right now. So it hasn't even been an hour. I'm really surprised that we're this far. So, unless I've been out here so long that the time changed, you know, that's possible, I guess. I thought it was odd that looked like the season changed while I was out here, but sure. A lot of those early planted crops, they're up, but there are bare spots. I mean, we just got a tremendous amount of rain here and there. Those beans look pretty excellent. But yeah, I mean, what do? That was probably back in April. There was about a week where it was super nice weather and a lot of people got stuff planted. But this is a lot higher up ground too than what mine is, so you know, mine wasn't even close to being something you could travel on. I mean, they're probably going to be glad they got this done, because even if it's not the greatest stand in places, it won't grow in the bag, you know. It'll bring something this way. But it's still so wet. I think it looks a little yellow because of that, but you know, and then you got more fields like this where nothing, because we just haven't had it. I mean, there just has not been another good stretch of weather since that week in April. I mean, every 2 or 3 days it rains, and I don't know, you just can't. You got to have about a week to get something done. I mean, see, there's another one. Water standing in the field. Nothing planted. So I'm not the only one, is the moral of my story. I mean, some people were getting kind of, I don't know, it's starting to ruffle my feathers a little bit, harping on me like I should be doing this and I should be doing that. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm here, and I'm telling you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to go out and rut up a whole bunch of ground and then not be able to plant it anyway. So it's better to just be patient and do it when it's gonna work. There comes the sprayer, so we're gonna just go, because I have a suspicion that I can probably travel faster than him, maybe not. This might be old Daddy-O up here, I don't know. That looks kind of like his pickup. No, turn it into this sawmill. I know that's not his, because his has a tremendous dent in the side. That's something that we haven't talked about, but sometime I'll show it to you. He had a little bit of an accident with a tree, so, and he wasn't the one using it when that happened. So anyway, getting closer to home, less stuff planted again. I mean, she just ain't dry. Got cousin Oliver 770 Farm Boy's place here, he got his stuff planted early by the people he works for, so he'll probably get some soybeans. Although I don't know if that's his or not, because somehow they trade around and they rent part of it and he rents part of it. But there's the field we did wheat in last year. It's corn. Another neighbor field, not planted, too wet. And we got beans over here. It's basically no rhyme or reason to it. It's just some of them worked and some didn't. See, there's nothing here. If you do no-till every year, your ground stays more solid, and that's what a lot of this that got planted has been no-tilled for years and years. So that was an advantage for them. That's how she goes. Pretty well, to have the best results of that, you gotta commit totally to that system or not. I mean, the more you till your ground, the less you're gonna be able to travel on it easy. But that also has its disadvantages too. You know, if you don't till your ground every so often, that can cause things too, but sure. A lot of it in my case though is my ground's so wet that it gets rutted up in the fall by the combine, and you just about have to go out there and fill some in, and then if you do that, you might as well just do the whole field. So I don't know, it's kind of a cycle you get yourself into, and that's just the way she goes. I'm wondering if we have a FedEx truck breakdown out there, or whether he's taking a break to smoke a left-handed cigarette. I'm not sure. Oh, we're at the home stretch. We might actually make it without losing anything. Now something's gonna fall off the second I turn in the driveway. Now for the fun task of where can I park this thing that it's not immediately in my way. We're gonna try to back it up into this hay field a little bit, which needs to be cut, and then we can play with this toy. So that's my plan anyway. I'd like to try it out. I wouldn't mind having a few square bales. Jeez, are we still recording? I hope so. My hat's now on the other side. Buddy, the dog. What are we doing, pal? You've been keeping an eye on things whilst I've been gone? I gotta get my hat. It's in the other side of the pickup. There's our trailer of sadness we need to get back to one day and work on it. All right, treasure. Did we arrive safely in one piece? Kind of looks that way. We didn't lose our power takeoff or have it drag on the ground. We just, yeah, I mean, I'm mildly impressed here that we have our tags. Okay for shipment, okay for delivery, double okay. I've never seen that sticker before. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if that was just a Shelbyville thing or just a short-lived thing and it wore off on everything else I got. I can't really read that very good out here, other than, and we can look it up, you know, I know there's books out there that tell us all that. I'll get a close-up of it because we can see it on video. But this will be about a, what, 71 or 72. That's about when they did this. That was a short-lived thing for a while. They put the old sticker on there, and that's how she goes. Yeah, I'm not really, oh, I see. Have to reach down in there and unsnap that, but that's fine. It's put together just like every other square baler ever that ever existed, other than one feature. All right, there's the drive apparatus. What I'm trying to say is, if we look up in here, roto flow feed, that was basically the thing that set them apart from other balers. This is basically a glorified, like a 60T or 62T size. It's the small size baler, but it's got this like a little roller bar rake in there. You see how that works? And then that would push your hay, rake it back into that chamber. And you say, so what? You know, who cares? Sounds complicated, whatever. Well, the thing is, a lot of the other balers, including my deer that I have, has an auger. And the auger has to be able to go up and down as your load of hay comes in. But what it tends to do is, the auger twists that hay just up into like a long rope as it's going along, which maybe isn't a bad thing, but the idea behind that, of why that's better, is if you're twisting your hay into a rope and all this while you're shoving it in there, you're knocking off leaves on certain types of hay crop, you know, like clover and different stuff, and a lot of your nutrition then was falling out the bottom of the baler. So the thinking was, you know, you gently rake the hay in there, the plunger slams it in and it gets captured in there, and you're not losing your good stuff. In practice, does it make that big a difference? I can't really tell you that, because I've never owned one of these. So, you know, we had that deer since, I mean, Grandpa bought it brand new. It was a demo baler, actually. I don't know if I've ever told that story before, but yeah, so he's had it. It was one of the first ones around here like that. So that's the way she was. But that is neither here nor there. We're gonna try this one out. We're definitely gonna have to get us some better string, because I don't know, maybe I could pull some good out of that, but kind of makes you wonder there. I'm amazed I didn't lose this door after seeing how precariously that really was on there. I mean, that's kind of amazing. Bolt in our chute, which is missing another half of the chute, I believe. If it's like my deer, it has another chute that would have bolted here to get it up on the wagon. So that's fine, because if I use it in here, what I'm going to do is just bail it on the ground and pick it up, because I don't have any help anyway. So it's kind of pointless to stack it on a wagon. We'll just run some on the ground till I can't stand it anymore, and then pick her up, and there you go. But yes, this baler is indeed the same one from the auction video a month or so ago. And I was so ticked off that I went and didn't get it bought, and this guy was bidding against me, and I buy all kinds of stuff from him, but I mean, he's a business. I guess he's got to do what he's got to do. So when I saw it, I knew it would come on auction time again. I knew it would, but I didn't think I'd get it bought for half of what he paid that day. So I got it bought for less than what I was going to pay for, what I had went to the auction to pay for. I thought I'd give $500 for it at the auction, and I bid it up to $850, I think, and then bought it for $425 on auction time. So I feel like I did all right on this deal. But I guess we got to first see it bail before we do that. But that day at the auction, the auctioneer said it was his neighbor's, and he said it did bail fine. So, you know, like they had used it last year and then parked it. So I'm wondering if there was another something here, like a shield or whatever, if this is just your toolbox or your, I guess what this is a place to fill up with hay and then rot out. That's basically what that is. So I'm sure I have a book on this. I'll have to dig through my cabinet and see, maybe read up on it, study it, figure out what's missing. But basically the Oliver baler was just like every other square baler. The Deere balers, the Alice Chalmers balers, Ford balers, New Holland balers, they all used the Deering style of knotter, which is this right here. The same thing that was used on binders and all kinds of stuff. And, you know, it makes the knot the exact same way as all those do. A lot of times the parts are so close you could probably interchange them between brands of baler. Maybe some machining required to get they might have used a slightly different shaft size or something, but basically if you look at them side by side, they look identical almost with the way they're made because they work the same way. The only ones that were the odd man out on that, to my knowledge, was Massey Ferguson. They made a totally different setup all the way around. You look at it, their knotters are different. It rotates in a different way. All right, we're back up to the shutting off because it's too hot trick. But as I was saying, Massey Ferguson, different knotter, and then they also used a different feeder that was kind of in between this and the auger. Instead of an auger and instead of this roller rake thing, they used like tines on a piece of chain that went around, and it just kept going around and dragging it back over here. So I guess that was gentle too. So to each his own. I'm sure they all have their merits in different types of crop. You know, no two crop are the same, I suppose. But overall, I think she's a beaut. I think it was taken care of fairly well for an old Baler. I mean, this is, like I said, from the 71 or 72, so that'd be, we're getting up to 50 years old on it. It's hard to believe that that's where we are with stuff from the 70s, but it is. So I'm excited to try this, and luckily it won't be that long because it needs to be cut like right now. I mean, we're talking like some of this is 5 foot high if I walk out there. So that's how she goes. Have to check the weather and see what it looks like. But I'm excited. I'm pumped that it had like really nice tires on it. I don't remember that from the auction, but you know, that helped me out today because I was able to pull it home without worrying about it too much. I guess I should have checked and saw how, like, are these just glowing? No, that's ice cold, really. So there might actually be grease in those wheels, you know. That's the one bad thing about a lot of implements and just different things. They did not put a grease fitting on the hubs, and I wish they would, because at least then they would get some grease, you know, from people, maybe, possibly. But like when you go pull it home from something like this, it would have been great to be able to shoot some grease in there, but whatever. I mean, looking her over there, it's nothing looks like it shouldn't work. I mean, like I said, time will tell, but you know, there's nothing that screams to me not gonna work. As long as it's in time and it doesn't, you know, destroy our needles. That's the common problem of a Baler. Your needles, they need to come up after the plunger is already past them. The plunger's got cutouts in it. I don't know that we can even see the plunger head. Where is it? It's underneath there right now. Can I turn? I probably can't do anything with it like this. Let's see. Did that get it any closer? Not really. You can kind of see it in there, maybe, can you? How it's got slots in it for the needles. After the plunger head passes, then the needles come up to feed the knotters. But what happens is when they get out of time, the needles come up too soon, the plunger isn't quite there, and it pushes a slug of hay against the needles and breaks off both needles. And so you don't want that. The needles have to come up in the instant when the plunger is past where it needs to be, so that the plunger is holding the hay back and it's not pushing against the needles, you know, because that's what happens. But yeah, sure, we'll see how this goes, but I think I got a good price on it, and it's taken me many moons to get an Oliver Baler. I've probably missed out on 20 of them in my lifetime. Just the wrong place, the wrong time, day late, dollar short, whatever. Or the thing was a piece of crap and not worth it, as in the case of the one that I actually bought up at that auction here this winter. And then when I sent cousin to go get it, those people said they'd scrapped it, and they didn't tell anybody, so that was real great. So that's why it never showed up here. So you win some, you lose some. But this one makes up for it. I think it's a lot better Baler. That other one was not usable. It would have taken a lot of work to do. I would have still liked to save it better than just going to the scrap, but like I said, you can't win them all. And you know, I got a really good deal on this pickup, so I just kind of put that in my mind that even if I lose a little at one auction like that Baler, I did get a super good deal on this, so it all evens out at the end of life. Plus the auctioneer did help. I will say that was very nice of him on that other Baler. He didn't know that they were going to scrap it so soon, so they ended up giving me a coupon for half of my money back, which I thought was a super good thing. So yeah, we'll find something nice to spend that on this year, because I got to use it before the year's out. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, pretty good. I'm glad that the condition of this, I'm happy with the price, and I'm super happy that we got it home without any sort of major catastrophe, because that is certainly possible with the way people drive, especially when you got to go down a stretch of highway like that. So yeah, anyway, I suppose we will call this one here, and like I said, we'll play with this more in the future, but we'll let this go here today. And as always, if you enjoy the videos, leave a thumbs up, you know, leave a comment. All that stuff's supposed to help. I don't know if it does, but it's supposed to. And then we can make the channel bigger. I can afford to keep buying more toys you can see play with. So do all that stuff. It doesn't cost you anything. It's supposed to help me out. And then, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.